Good morning, everybody. Ciaccio here. Another day to talk about how we can make more sales. Talk to agents every day, and they're coming across situations where they said, Joe, I made a presentation. The person didn't want to buy. I felt they wanted to buy, but I just couldn't grab them and pull them in. So what I'm going to do today is go over some tie-down examples, which are very, very necessary in the game of sales. A tie-down merely is you communicating throughout your presentation, adding certain words to the end of your discussion to get that client to tell you yes. What a lot of agents do is that they go to a house and they just want to talk, and they feel the more that they speak, the more they talk, the more they say, it's going to get them steps closer to making a sale. And quite to the contrary, that's not the way to do it. You can talk, yet you need to have a conversation with the folks that you're dealing with. When you're sitting in front of them, or even on the phone, sit in front of them, you got to learn, first of all, how to kind of read some body language. You got to see if their mind is in the game. So the great part about a tie down is that when you're speaking with somebody, you may sit and give them an example. You sent this card in and you wanted to get some type of program set up so in case you pass away, your kids are not left responsible for the unpaid bills. They're going to go, yes. And you're going to go, well, this is something that makes sense to you. That's something that you should be doing and taking care of, correct? And you nod your head. So when you ask for a tie down or you state a tie down, what you're doing is that you're trying to get them to engage in a conversation with you. You're trying to get them in the habit of saying yes. So when you get down to the end and say which program works out best for you, the goal is that they're going to say, yes, that's the one I want. Another reason tie downs are good is that it keeps your client engaged in the conversation, because a lot of times clients' mind will float. So if you're in the house, you walk into a home, if the TV's on, even if it's very low, ask them if they do not mind turning the TV off. If you don't feel comfortable with that there, ask them if they can turn the volume down to where you don't have to raise your voice and somewhat show disrespect. Because the TV is going to win over you. It's just a fact. If they're watching a soap opera, they're watching some game show, and you think you're going to make a presentation to get their attention when you got the Wheel of Fortune on or the Price is Right, you're not going to win. How do I know? I've been in the house before, and I said, well, Joe, let me kind of just leave the TV the way it is and see what happens. And what happens is that they're looking at me like I'm looking at you right now, and all of a sudden, now they start looking down because they heard something on the TV, and now they're going back between you and the TV. So who's winning? Well, you may think you are, yet we've got to understand that when you they send in this lead, when you go to a door, the lead is basically more important to you, meaning us agents, than the client. Well, Joe, how can you say that? They sent it in. Well, if they're watching TV, and they've waited all these years to start a program, right now that TV's going to win, so your job is to get them to be engaged with you. Tie downs will help you do that there. Jay's going to send you out probably 20, 25 of them that I've compiled, and from there you can pick out the ones that you feel are most popular for you, or most comfortable for you is a better way to say it. What I'm going to recommend you guys to do is to get 3 or 4 of the little 3x5 cards that you can buy or make them up on a piece of paper. Write these tie downs and put them on your dashboard. So when you're driving around, subconsciously you're looking out the windshield, and you're going to look down and you're going to see the word make sense. Another one, sound reasonable. I cannot think of a better way. So by having these in front of you, and you're in a house with a client, you may have them in front of you. Client can't read upside down, okay? Because I have this paper right here with you guys right now. You can't read upside down. You can read this, yet you cannot read this here. So don't be shy to put a cheat sheet in front of you, because right now, especially for you new agents who are having a little bit of problems trying to move from step 1 to step 2, the transition, write the stuff down, have it sit next to you. If you glance down, you glance down. They're not going to sit here using a cheat sheet to make a sale on me. What you're going to do is that by you using the cheat sheet to make the sale on them, you're going to come across with more confidence. You're going to come across knowing what you're talking about, and your transitions are going to be much smoother and not have the ums and the you knows and I don't know and the noises you make when you're trying to make a transition when you're unsure what to do. Now, let's talk about a couple. You talk with a client, going over the whole program with them, and you're saying, today we're going to see what we can do to hopefully qualify you for a program to get you set up to take care of what you sent this card back in, and you sent it in because you wanted to make sure your family was protected. Is that correct? Yes. Very simple tie down. Yes. Okay? Basically, I've been doing this for 26 years, and I cannot find a better way to accomplish this goal. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some different options, some different programs with you, and I'm going to sit and ask you which one is best for you based on what your budget is available. Does that sound reasonable with you? Does that sound reasonable with you? Yes. Again, you want to discuss, throw a tie down at the end to get them to say yes, to get them to engage in the conversation with you, and for you to make sure you have their attention. Now, when you ask them for a tie down, like I just said, does this sound reasonable to you? And they tell you, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Now, you have got to sit and say, am I talking too much? Am I rambling? Am I going out to left field? Do I have their attention? Now, your job as a professional is to say, okay, I must be doing something not as good as what I should be doing. What can I do to get that client back with me? Because what you don't realize is that if you do not constantly speak with them and allow them to speak back with you, they're going to slowly be drifting away. Now, the hardest thing is to read a client. You can sit and say, Joe, I can read clients, I can read body language, I can tell by the way they move their arm, their eyes. You can. They say always look into the client's eye because that shows that they trust you. Well, you can be a damn con artist, and the con artist is going to look you damn dead in the eye and tell you the same thing. You got to just go slow. We're dealing with people who are seniors. They want the information. You know they want the information because they sent the card in. Your goal is to find out why. When you get the why, you got to constantly be pulling them in. I'm going to kind of make a little left-hand turn here. When you're visiting with somebody and you're going over the program and you ask them, who are you going to put as your personal representative to take care of this here when the day comes? Who's going to be in charge of taking care of all these expenses? They're going to sit and say, my son Anthony and my daughter Marie. From that point on, you no longer use the word beneficiaries in your presentation. Now you're going to only use Anthony and Marie. Those are the two people you want to put as your beneficiaries. Those are the two people that are going to be in charge of everything. Is that correct? Yes. The more yeses they say, the more yeses you get from somebody, the better opportunity you have for them to say yes on picking out a program. When you're going through the process, you must go slow. You must take your time. You're not in a race to get through with this house here to go to another house. The old saying, a bird in hand is worth more than two in the bush. Because you may have an appointment with somebody, yet you've got no idea if they're going to be there, if they're going to cancel, change their mind, not answer their door. You don't know. So you've got to think about when you're doing a presentation, you're orchestrating tie downs, the only person on your mind is that particular person you're speaking with. So you, as well as the client, has got to be engaged. You got to be focused on what you're doing. You got to make sure your mind is as clear as possible. If you're having issues at home, as we all do, try to leave that at the door when you leave the house, or at least leave it inside your car when you go inside. So when you're visiting with somebody, the mind is as clear as possible. You're cool, calm, and collective. You've got your A game on. Because what happens is that when you want to pull out a tie down and you feel your memory is where it's at, and you don't have any notes in front of you, you got to make sure that you have that file that you can pull open that says, okay, which one can I use with this client at this particular time? The one makes sense is a good one. Do you agree? I like. Does this sound reasonable to you? Those are just 3. I got about 25 of them. So what we're going to do is Jay's going to send this to everybody. Add this to your study list. Okay? Jack Skaggs says a professional is never out of school. You must always be studying, guys. Rebuttals, objections, tie downs, when you get yourself in a situation, when they say something, you've got to have a way to have a comeback, because if you're not prepared when you go into a home, your mind is not clear, you can't pull those files open. That is what's preventing a lot of agents from making sales, because they think they know everything. Yet, they do know it, but yet when you're sitting in front of somebody, the dynamics change. So when a client sits and tells you, no, 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 that does not mean you leave, leave, leave. Now is when you sit down and you go the extra mile to do the objections, to do the overcome the rebuttals. You sit there, now you may pull out your damn cheat sheet and say, damn, I should have pulled this out in the beginning. Pull out the big old long list of stuff, set it down next to you and be glancing down. So every time you say something, they say no, you have a comeback. Try tie downs. You must do them, because it's going to get you one step closer to making a sale. Make it a great day, guys. We love you. We appreciate you. If you need anything, let us know. Let you know we brought on GTL. We brought on Oxford, as well as many other carriers. So if you need something in your book that's a little bit different to fit your needs for your clients, give us a call. Make it a great day. Be safe.